Welcome back my YouTube channel CoinsZF. Today we have an incredibly rare and fascinating topic for you. We're diving deep into one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history, the 1981 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent. And as if that wasn't already exciting enough, we're going to discuss why one of these coins recently sold for a whopping $16.12 million. Yes, you heard that right. $16.12 million. Stick around because in the next 30 minutes, we'll be breaking down everything you need to know about this elusive coin, its history, and what makes it so valuable. But first, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay updated with all things coins. All right, before we get into the mind-blowing $16.12 million sale, let's talk about the coin itself. The 1981 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent is part of the iconic U.S. penny series. It's a coin you might have in your pocket right now, but there's something special about a very few of these pennies that can make them worth way more than face value. First, a little background. The Lincoln Memorial Cent was first issued in 1959 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 150th birthday. It features a portrait of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, we see the famous Lincoln Memorial Building, designed by Frank Gasparo. For more than 20 years, this design was standard, until it was replaced by the Union Shield design in 2010. Now, let's look at the specifics of the 1981 D penny. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint, which is where the D Mint mark comes from. During 1981, the U.S. Mint produced more than 7 billion pennies, which was a huge production number. So, why is the 1981 D so special when there were so many made? The answer lies in the fact that while many of these coins were made in large quantities, there was an unusual production anomaly. Some of the 1981 D. Lincoln Memorial Cents were struck with a unique variety of die, which causes them to exhibit unusual characteristics, including off-center strikes, double die errors, and other minting mistakes that can drastically increase their value. Now let's get into the big news. In 2021, a 1981 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent was sold for $16.12 million, setting a new record in the coin world. You might be thinking, how in the world does a penny get to be worth that much? The coin that sold for this staggering amount was a unique specimen, one of the rarest coins ever to exist. It wasn't just any 1981 D penny. This particular penny was struck with an extremely rare die error that caused it to be a one-of-a-kind rarity. The coin had the type of visual characteristics that make error coins so valuable. Unusual doubling, a misalignment in the strike, and certain surface details that set it apart from the rest of the population of 1981 D pennies. So, how do we go from a regular penny to $16.12 million? The key here is the coin's grade. Coin grading is a crucial factor in determining the value of any coin, especially when it comes to rare and error coins. The coin we're talking about is graded at the highest possible level, MS 70 or Mint State 70. This means it is in pristine, flawless condition, with no signs of wear, damage, or imperfections. But it's not just about the condition. The rarity and uniqueness of the die error played a massive role in pushing the price up. Coin collectors go absolutely wild for minting errors. But what makes them so special? Well, in the world of numismatics, minting errors are seen as rare anomalies, and collectors are willing to pay big money for coins that are different from the norm. And the 1981 D penny with its unique die error? Well, that's a gold mine in the eyes of collectors. Errors can range from slight die cracks to major issues like double strikes, off-center prints, or even missing features. These types of errors are incredibly rare and can make even a coin that seems relatively common become a highly coveted item. Now, You might be thinking, can I find a coin like this in my pocket? Well, it's not impossible, but the chances are incredibly slim. But don't let that discourage you. Coin collecting is an exciting and rewarding hobby. Even if you don't find a $16 million penny, many coins still hold substantial value based on their rarity and condition. Just like in any collectible market, the key is to learn about the coins you're investing in. Make sure to look for key dates, rare, minting marks, and be on the lookout for errors. It's about understanding what makes a coin unique and learning how to properly assess its worth.so. There you have it. The fascinating story behind the 1981 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent and its record-breaking $16.12 million sale. While this coin is one of a kind, it just goes to show how the world of coins can hold unbelievable surprises. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting out in the world of coin collecting, there's always something new to learn, and rare finds are just around the corner. Collector and history. Top 2, let's start with some context. In 1987, the United States Mint struck millions of quarters, each with George Washington's portrait on the obverse and a simple eagle on the reverse. However, unlike most coins, which are mass-produced and circulate widely, some years contain unique errors or rare versions that make them highly valuable. The 1987 quarter may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but in reality, it could be one of the most sought-after coins in recent history.so. Why would a 1987 quarter be worth so much? Let's get into the history and some of the fascinating circumstances surrounding its value. 1987 was a pivotal year for a variety of reasons. The United States was in the midst of a booming economy, and the coinage being produced by the U.S. Mint was as abundant as ever. However, 1987 is also known for some interesting quirks in the minting process. During that year, there was a notable error in the production of some quarters, creating a situation that's nothing short of a coin collector's dream. In particular, some quarters were accidentally struck with the wrong die, resulting in a rare variety that would later fetch enormous sums of money to understand this. You need to know how coin dies work. The dies are essentially molds that imprint the design onto the coin. In 1987, due to a mix-up at the U.S. Mint, some coins were mistakenly struck with dies intended for another denomination or a slightly different design. These die errors are crucial because they can cause variations that make the coin extremely rare. Some collectors have even found quarters that appear to have two heads or a slight misalignment. But there's one particular 1987 quarter that's been driving prices into the millions. In 2018, an incredible discovery was made. A rare 1987 quarter, one with a misalignment and some unique die errors, was found in an unassuming bag of change. This coin was later auctioned for a staggering $14.14 million. But how did this happen? Let's break down the details of this extraordinary find. After a series of independent assessments and appraisals, it was determined that this particular quarter was not just rare, but almost completely unique. The die errors, the slight misalignment of the design, and the fact that it had never been circulated made it an undeniable gem for collectors. After being auctioned, it became one of the most expensive quarters in history. Now, let's talk about the grading process. In the world of numismatics, the condition of a coin is just as important as its rarity. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being perfect. For a coin to fetch millions, it needs to be in top-notch condition, often with minimal wear and tear, and the error needs to be significant. The 1987 quarter that sold for $14.14 million was graded at an astounding 67 out of 70. This grade means that the coin was nearly flawless, a key factor in its massive value. For those of you new to coin grading, it's a system that's highly detailed and technical. Experts look at things like luster, sharpness of detail, and even the tiniest imperfections to determine the grade. Coin collecting has always been a passionate hobby, but in recent years, it has become a serious investment avenue. As the demand for rare and high-quality coins continues to rise, collectors and investors alike are looking for the next big find. Some of the rarest coins can fetch more than just a pretty penny. They can reach astronomical prices. The sale of a 1987 quarter for $14.14 million isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a broader trend where rare and high-value coins are making headlines. For example, the famous 1913 Liberty Head nickel, which sold for $3.7 million, or the 1794 flowing hair dollar, which was sold for $10 million. These coins are part of a growing market where rarity, condition, and historical significance align to produce astronomical values. Now, you might be wondering, how can you find a coin like the 1987 quarter that could be worth millions? While it's rare, it's not impossible. Many coin collectors spend years hunting for rare varieties. Some key tips include inspecting your coins carefully, paying attention to small die errors, and working with certified professionals who can help authenticate your finds. Remember, not every error is going to be worth millions, but some coins with small misprints or imperfections can still fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars. So, there you have it. The incredible story of the 1987 United States quarter that sold for $14.14 million. A coin that went from a simple piece of change to one of the most valuable numismatic treasures in the world. Top 3 first, let's take a look at this iconic coin. The 1976 1 peso coin from the Philippines is a standard circulating coin, but it has some unique features that make it stand out in the numismatic world. Minted in honor of the 1976 bicentennial year of the United States, the coin features a beautiful design that combines Filipino heritage with global history. But on the obverse side, we have the classic design of the Philippine coat of arms. On the reverse side, it depicts the value 1p, along with the image of a worker in an agricultural setting, representing the hardworking people of the Philippines. Before we dive into the specifics of this rare 1976 1 peso coin, it's important to understand the context of the Philippine peso as a currency. The peso has undergone many changes since its introduction in the 19th century, and the design of its coins has evolved significantly over time. In 1976, the Philippines was going through a period of political and economic transformation under the leadership of President Ferdinand Marcos. The country was not only facing internal challenges, but also striving to commemorate historical milestones, like the bicentennial celebration of the United States independence. Now, here's where the magic happens. What makes this 1976 1 peso coin so special isn't just the design. It's the rarity and certain unique features that make it a potential goldmine for collectors. The value of a coin is determined by several factors: rarity, condition, and any unique characteristics or errors during the minting process. For example, some 1976 1 peso coins were produced with slight minting errors like off-center strikes, which make them much more valuable today. There's also a certain type of alloy composition used in these coins, which adds to their collectible nature. The number of these errors is so small that the few that have survived in good condition have become incredibly sought after. How does a simple 1 peso coin skyrocket to a mind-blowing $14.16 million? Let's break down its journey. Once a coin with a minting error or unique feature is discovered, it doesn't just sit in someone's coin jar. These coins are often appraised by experts who specialize in rare and collectible coins. Over time, as the scarcity of the coin becomes more apparent its value increases. People around the world who collect rare coins start hunting for them, and once they become available at auctions, the bidding begins. In some cases, these rare coins can fetch millions of dollars, like this 1976 1 peso coin. The process isn't fast. It takes decades for a coin like this to gain its legendary status. So, how exactly did this particular 1976 1 peso coin reach such a high value? The journey of this specific coin is a fascinating one. The coin, believed to be one of only a few in existence with a specific error, was first discovered in the 1990s. It remained in the hands of collectors for years, but its true value wasn't realized until the early 2000s when numismatic experts finally put a price tag on it. The rarity of the error, combined with its flawless condition, caused the coin to sell for a staggering $14.16 million. Let's hear from some of the experts in the field. I recently had a chance to talk with a few numismatists and auction house specialists who weighed in on why this coin is worth such an astronomical amount. While the value of this coin is staggering, it's also important to recognize the cultural significance it holds for the Filipino people. Coins like this one carry the essence of a nation's history, its people, and their struggles. The 1976 1 peso coin not only celebrates the Philippines, but also highlights its resilience during a critical point in history. Now, you might be wondering how you can get involved in coin collecting or how to spot a rare coin like the 1976 1 peso. Well, there's no better time to start than now. Top 4 before we get into this mind-blowing story. Let's take a quick look at the Lincoln penny. These coins have been in circulation since 1909, and they're known for featuring Abraham Lincoln's face on the obverse side. The reverse side, of course, has the famous shield design introduced in 2010. But in 1989, the penny still had the traditional wheat design. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, though. We'll circle back to that later. Now, let's talk about the normal 1989 Lincoln penny first. If you have a regular 1989 penny, it's worth about 1 cent, as expected. But what if I told you that this penny could potentially be worth millions of dollars? That's right. Some of these pennies, especially certain errors or rare variations, can be worth a whole lot more. One specific 1989 penny has even sold for a mind-boggling $4.30 million. So, how exactly did a 1989 Lincoln penny end up being worth $4.3 million? Well, here's where things get really interesting. In 2017, a rare and highly sought-after 1989 penny surfaced. This penny wasn't just any 1989 penny. It was a coin with a rare error that made it an absolute gem in the world of numismatics. The error? A double die obverse. What does that mean? Let's break it down. The double die error happens when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, resulting in some letters and features being doubled. In this case, the Liberty and In God We Trust on the obverse side were particularly affected, making it a highly collectible coin. Now, let's talk about why this particular error makes the 1989 penny so valuable. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for coins with unique errors. In fact, some errors can make a coin worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But when you have a double die error like the one on this penny, you have a coin that is not only rare, but it's also in a high-demand niche market of collectors who focus specifically on errors. And that's exactly why this 1989 penny fetched such an extraordinary price. Now, you may be thinking, how can I spot a rare penny like the one worth $4.3 million? Great question. It's all about being detail-oriented and knowing what to look for. First, check the obverse for any signs of double die errors, like doubled letters or numbers. If you spot something unusual, it could be a major clue. Also, make sure to check the mint mark and the general condition of the coin. Coins in excellent condition, especially ones with errors, tend to fetch much higher prices at auctions. You may even want to consult with a professional appraiser or coin dealer if you find something interesting. The sale of a 1989 penny for $4.3 million wasn't just a one-off fluke. It had a major impact on the coin market. Not only did it bring attention to error coins, but it also helped boost interest in modern coins, especially from the 1980s and 1990s. The sale brought a lot of new collectors into the fold, and now people are paying closer attention to their pocket change than ever before. So, to wrap it up, if you had a 1989 Lincoln penny in your collection, or even in your spare change, take a moment to examine it closely. You might have a valuable gem hidden right under your nose. While it's unlikely to find one worth $4.3 million, you never know what treasure could be waiting for you. Remember, coin collecting is all about patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. If you enjoyed today's video and learned something new, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more coin-related content. And don't forget to comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your pocket change. I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you for watching today's video, and it's interesting. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. CoinZF.